Just kidding. You thought the stream froze. Oh man, got you, bitch. How you doing, Chuck? How you doing this evening? Oh, I'm tempted to, man. I'm tempted to. Yeah, I was thinking about it. I'm like, what are we up to tonight? I'm not 100% sure, actually. But I know one thing we can do right away is post another jar. Yeah, I was really impressed with how it turned out. You know what? Yeah, it's a really good little skit. You know, especially for the Jarverse loyals, they really know what's up. They like it. Yeah, what the heck? This one will go easy peasy. Let's go. I almost feel like stopping posting just because I'm gonna start giving the jars away as NFTs actually starting next week. So there's a lot of technical stuff that I need to do. So that's kind of why I'm like, well, as much as it would be probably better content and more fun to like do some kind of Biden skit, I'm like kind of like I have stuff that I need to get done. I'm definitely, yeah, I did bang it off quick. Hey, 2 minutes in 2 days, bro. Like that's, I was like, man, like this is a new version of what we're doing here. This is the next level, right? Like it's crazy. I was like, man, I finished this in 2 days. This would have taken me like 4 months ago. It would have taken me 3 days, 4 days even, for sure. So, I mean, granted, I had the background and stuff already ready, but it's like I'm just getting much more streamlined with the process, and that's what this whole thing is about. So, yeah, it's it turned out really good. I really, really like it. Like I honestly, I don't. It's funny, but I don't think it's the funniest thing I've done. Like it was maybe just a little bit lackluster. Big differences when you say the lines. Like what do you mean by that? Just like the timing and the pacing and even the voice acting. Yeah, like the voice acting being just better, I guess, in general. Like, is that kind of what you're saying? Because I noticed that too. I was like, man, my inflections and like how I'm doing the voice acting is definitely improved. But yeah, like I was saying, like it wasn't so much that it was even the funniest skit, because it probably wasn't. Like, I don't know. Some of the political stuff could be funnier for sure, but it was just the quality and the delivery. It was very smooth, and it wasn't like super jarring with the motion, but there was motion. Yeah, so it was like, I don't know. I watch it and I'm like, instead of, oh, okay, that's, yeah. Like, that's the hardest part of doing the political skits, for sure. Yeah, getting all this stuff together and whatnot. But that's why I'm like, okay, if I'm doing political skits, they gotta be shorter. Because I'm doing them like almost 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes, and it's getting a little bit ridiculous. Like it gets a little bit boring or whatever, and it doesn't need to be like that. Because I have so much content, I'm like, well, I have all of these different lines and I want to use them. But it's like, I don't need to use them all. I could even save some of the lines for future, but in my head I'm like, no, I've got to use them all now. So we got some ginger lemon green tea going on tonight. Oh yeah, excited for this. Looks delicious. And yeah, hit the gym today. We riding. We straight riding. Let's go. But yeah, from conception to delivery, 2 days. So that was really good. A lot cleaner quality, really good timing and delivery. Yeah, it was just fun. I really liked it. Hey, Gibson's whiskey. Risque with the whiskey. Hey. One of my buddies calls me Whiskey because, you know, whiskey in the jarro. little tiny piece of ginger floated right on the top. And I tried to sip it and it just went like... yeah, that's the spot. Yeah, so, I don't know, like, we could do a quick political skit. I'm kind of... I know that's going to be the most fun, but is it going to be the most impactful? What about I want to? Whiskey in the gyro. It's like, what? Oh, yeah. Yeah, hey, I was never really a big fan of... Forget the grind. Just be you and be happy. If you like grinding, go for it. If you don't, don't. It's not the only or most efficient way to grow. Don't listen to them. Listen to your soul. That is the absolute most bullshit thing I have heard. I'm gonna actually take my like back. Sorry, bro. Like, that is some weak sauce bitch move right there. This poor Ness here. Anyways, he's just feeling like the world's out to get him. I've seen that before. It's like that's border, well, to be heavy, it's borderline schizo, but most people at some point feel like the world's out to get them, even just a little bit. But you know who really feels like the world's out to get them? Bitches. Simpy bitches. Oh, the world's just conspiring to ruin me. No, you just suck. Get good, son. Anyways. Scrolling Twitter. Yeah, so, you know, what should we do? I guess the very least impactful thing... Well, no, it's being on Twitter is not the least impactful thing I could be doing, that's for sure. Because what, we're up to 1,797 followers now on Twitter? My engagement's not that great, so I mean, like, don't get me wrong, followers isn't everything, but, it's good to see I have a little bit of a impact, a little bit of presence on Twitter. And yeah, we're going to be doing daily giveaways with the jars pretty soon on Twitter. And we're going to have giveaways in the Discord. And we're going to have giveaways for people who subscribe to the YouTube. And we'll even have giveaways for people watching the live stream. So Chuck, you're probably going to get quite the stockpile of jars at some point here. And each jar will be stakeable, which will earn you more useless dollars or mud. So I don't know if I've told you about that, Chuck, but we're going to have our own bullshit currency called mud, more useless dollars. And you'll be able to earn them by... Oh, cool. Egg days. Ha 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 ha. So what do I have to do? Can I have the vacuum jar? Yeah, there's gonna be a vacuum jar, but that's gonna be a purchase. So you're like, the jars that I'm gonna give away are all the AI generated jars. So like quite a few to choose from, but you're not really gonna have a choice. I like the melting jars, actually. They're pretty cool. They're gonna be random. So you'll randomly get a jar, and the more jars you have, the more mud that you'll earn. And the mud, the more useless dollar, that's gonna be how you buy Leslie Moore's products. So you'll be able to make a purchase and buy the vacuum jar, or buy the mystery juice jar, or buy the friggin' chicken nuggets, or any of the products, right? And that mud is also going to be what you use to make decisions in the Jaroverse, like whether or not, you know, like I said before, right? Where whether or not, just thinking out loud, but whether or not the rocket crash lands or not, you'll use mud token to determine that by buying this option or that option, or no option, and just buy a bunch of products. That's also the choice, which will result in the rocket crashing. So that's kind of what we needed to do. A little bit is the writing, but man, I guess I'm like, anyways, that's the intro, everybody. We'll be right back after these.
I think therefore I am.
All right. Welcome to the show, everybody. It's your boy, MikeJar. Wait, are we doing another intro, Mike? Come on. You just introed. You don't need an intro after your intro. Anyways. Brave Wallet is awesome. Show me harder. Oh, I think I'm gonna use Brave Wallet. One little tweet convinced me. So, Chuck, you should get Twitter. You should fucking get Twitter, bud. It's a good time. Oh, I just dropped a little piece of thing in there. Watch me sip it into the back of my throat and cough again. Oh, there's too many particles of ginger. Anyways, so yeah, I think what we're gonna do is possibly do a Biden thing. What if we just like I want to update the website. I want to. Okay, do we start there? I feel like that's stuff I should do off stream. And maybe that's why I'm kind of like, let's do a Biden gaff video. Like, it'd be too easy. It'd just be too easy. Can I do it in one night? Oops, fucking me with flashing my DMs. Can I make a Biden skit in one night? Or even a Schwab skit, hey? He said some shit lately. He said some new material. Oh man, I feel like my tea is ruined. It's not ruined, it just needs to be filtered properly. So, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna grab the French press and pour my ginger-filled tea in there, So just give me a minute or two here. You know, just chill. We got 3 viewers on YouTube. Would you go ahead and say hey if you're here? Chuck, you're always here, but you know we got a couple other people. Go ahead and say hey in the chat. Schwab does have some new material, so I'm like, what if we did a skit with just Schwab and Biden? Maybe like Biden's the dog that like Schwab is got on a leash. I mean, that seems more like Trudeau. Maybe we do Trudeau. I'm trying to drink my tea again. Okay, I'll be right back. Give me a couple minutes. I'm gonna fix my tea. I'm over here trying to fix my tea. Hold on. I was supposed to click this over here. Come on. I mean, hello? Yeah, the disloyal other two, they fled. Like, well, he's taking a break. I'm out of here. Kind of thought so. Viewership drop off. We're gonna take a break. Never take a break, all right? Work 27 hours in a day. Yeah, okay. So what do you think? Yeah, Chuck. Should we do like a Trudeau on a leash with Schwab? Is that what you said yes to? Schwab, let the dogs out. Oh, buddy. That would be pretty good, actually. That's a great idea. Like Schwab with like 3 dogs on a leash. Macron. Okay. Now we're getting out of hand, Chuck. Come up, calm down. Just relax. Take a deep breath. No, I'm just kidding. Having a good time tonight. That's for sure. We having a good time. But Macron, I think, is like, yeah, okay, but I maybe I'm just not familiar enough. Yeah, I know. I'm just I'm just fucking with you, Chuck. Don't take me too seriously, bro. No. Seriously, step back. Go over there. You just walk. You're on the side. You're not. This is not public property. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. That's kind of. I was kind of like joking and referencing the audits. Man, like again, the more and more I look at this stuff of the audits, it's just so good because we never had, even 20 years ago, we did not have the technology to live stream video, right? Like, think about that, man. That's so huge in terms of information freedom, liberty, and holding cops accountable. Like, we were not able to, and now we have this new breed of the cops, the auditors of the police, who go in and just record, just express their freedoms. And these cops, like, all of a sudden the tyrant comes out of them. The neo-feudal slave enforcer, right? It just pops out just like that. Like, because they're used to being able to get away with behaving like that. And so some of these older cops who have been there since 85 or since 95 even, and had 15, 20 years on the force without really any accountability, they're now kind of struck with this, like, oh shit, there's people who are actually law-abiding citizens who are expressing their rights and exposing them for the greasy, slimy piece of shit tyrants that they are. Like this one fat cop who friggin' looked like Peter Griffin I was watching today, and the guy's making almost 200 grand a year, and like he's the most unprofessional piece of crap ever. It's just insane. These government employees make so much money. It's ridiculous, because of course they're trying to keep and build, even subconsciously, the government will try to keep its employees happy as the rest of society is falling apart due to the government's own incompetence. They're taxing the crap out of everybody. They're putting these dumb, unconstitutional laws in place, and they're ruining the rest of society. So while they're doing that, they're trying to keep their inner circle happy, right? By like giving police friggin' 120, 200 grand a year, politicians 200, 300 grand a year, which is absolutely insane. Like, who makes that in the real world? Only high-level business operators. But these people are coward friggin'. Yeah, I mean, it's subconscious, really. It's the thinking below the thinking in a whole system of people who are they might not even think it consciously, but they know, oh, well, if I give the cops more money, then they'll be protecting me as a... I don't know, anyways. Fuck the government. Greasy, neo-feudal pieces of trash, almost all of them. Held accountable by nobody, really. And that's the difference between people who operate in the private domain and people who operate in the public sector. Because the public sector people, like, they're not accountable. Politicians, oh, well, they could get voted out. Still a very low level of accountability. Like, besides, if you promise something as a politician, say, and then you get voted in on that promise, you're not held accountable. You could just turn your back on that promise right away and still run your term, which is like ridiculous. Like, if I knocked on a door and say, hey, I'll paint your house for $3,000, they gave me a deposit, and I came back and I just didn't paint their house, like, they could sue my ass because I didn't make good on my promise, right? And signed a contract and got money for it. It's like, hello, you know? So like, that's what I'm saying. Like, in the private domain, a lot of Davos right now should do something. Yeah. All right, I'll stop my rant about public versus private and lack of accountability, but I use Brave Boat. All right. Yeah, okay, Quester is, yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna switch to Brave Wallet, and that way I can uninstall Phantom Wallet and MetaMask and just consolidate to Brave Wallet. There is also Exodus Wallet for browser now, but I kind of prefer Brave's built-in browser. That way I just don't, it's one less plugin that I need. Anyways. All right. Let's get on this. Let's see if we can pump one out 30 to 40 seconds tonight. And Friday, Saturday, I'll be in Discord. Actually, that's a great idea. Friday and Saturday, as much as I can possibly handle. Actually, more than I can handle, because that's it. Stop being a bitch, Mike. More than I can handle. I'm going to be in Discord, and I'm going to be doing all sorts of just boring shit. So if you want to hang out with me doing technical background stuff like updating the website, etc., making a banner for Twitter and for YouTube, these are things I gotta write down. Actually, let's just do that right now. I'm gonna brain dump a little bit, and then we'll get into creating. All right, let's see here. Tasks. Yeah, I gotta create the mud token, but that's not gonna happen this week. It's gonna happen next week. Okay, new more product. I got that done. Update video. I still have to do that. I was supposed to do it around December 21st, but I don't know if I don't know, but okay. Task. New YouTube and Twitter banners. Pretty important, pretty easy. Intelligence and creativity. By the weekend. Okay, what else? So, Twitter banner, update website, and Discord. I'm gonna look through there. Again, pretty darn easy. Same deadline. What else needs to be done? Oh yeah. Metadata. AI jars metadata. Okay, so we're gonna get the AI jars going. That's gonna be starting next week. What else needs to be done? Oh yeah, intro. Okay, update the intro. I should be able to do that by the end of the weekend too. But then I do want to make a new theme for my stream. I want to update all of the stuff around the edges and the doors and stuff, but I think I'm going to postpone that for now. Like, I still like what I have going on here. It's mostly the intro that needs to be updated. So, yeah, that's fine. I could put that as a task, but not due for like 2 months or so. I could probably do it sooner, but I want to put a little bit into it and make it look a little more sleek and clean, and maybe keep the cartoony, but just kind of be a little more clean and colors that are more contrasting. We'll see. We'll probably stick with similar design, but yeah, anyways, so we're going to update that. Oh wow, we've got 4.5k on Freeland, on Freebase. I didn't even look actually for the last little bit. Have I broken 200 subs? No, 193 though. Yeah, plus 26. Like, we're still growing. Andrew Tate's still ahead, but what do we got for? Yeah, Freebase is up 4,500. It has, as you called it, Chuck, officially surpassed Justin Trudeau. For whatever reason. Freebase, Freebase. Maybe it's a bit shorter, so people like that, but I'm very impressed. That's awesome. It's, yeah, 7.8% click through, 4.5k views, 55 hours of watch time. But I still think, yeah, Trudeau's given me more watch time, so that's interesting. 66 over 54, right? Because it's twice as long. So like it's still getting views. They've kind of plateaued a little bit, but we'll see. Justin's always doing some dumb shit. The whole kangaroo court, yeah, it's good, man. That definitely was one of my favorite skits too, and obviously breached the whole like adult comedy side. So, and of course the jar of vacuum is like, it's not gonna get much views, right? Like, people looking at this, they're not gonna have any idea what the hell they're looking at. Like, it's actually on the lower side, but 2.5%, 2.4%, yeah. So it's like, you know, that's, I love it. I personally, like, it's me working. I don't know. I probably could have done better with the thumbnail, but I was like, you know, you're gonna laugh. That's all. Like, I don't know. It was late. I just threw that together. I didn't finish till like 3 in the morning actually, and that's only because I was distracted chatting on Discord with Block Bro and being on Twitter Spaces actually, which is also distracting, but it's fun. And it's good for marketing, right? Like, just getting the word out there. Like, it was really good to see some of the people that I, you know, have made connections with in the digital space there, and just bump into their space and say hi and hang out for a little bit. Like, it's actually really good. That's part of the whole brand, is like, yeah. Yeah, bro. I mean, we did that yesterday, right? Like, it's cool, man. Yeah, because you can just go back and you can see some of like the old cartoons and just how much better they are now. Like the jar of vacuum thing, right? Like, that took me 2 nights. I think that the like chicken nuggets thing took me longer and was like 30 seconds. And it's like kind of slow and clunky and super still in the camera still. Like, it's really grown, man. It's really, really grown, and it will continue to do so. This is still just the very beginning, right? So it's stay tuned and, you know, open your jar up a little bit and get some fresh air in there. Come on. Well, unless it's a vacuum jar, then don't open it ever, okay? Saw what happened to Hunter when he opened his. In fact, let's give that a watch right now.
Well,
Come
hey
on.
there, Judge Orgo. Reason why I'm calling is that I'm not making very much money out here in space, and I don't know what I can sell without Tulsa products. What should I do?
Hello, Leslie. Yes, what a predicament you are in.
Wait, how did Tulsa and 8-Bot find us at that warehouse?
Yes, it says here that
Just
have
ignores
you
it.
ever thought about selling nothing?
Okay.
Selling nothing? Who wants to buy nothing? That's ridiculous.
What if nothing was really something?
Stop playing games here, Judge Orgo. I can't just sell nothing. I have to sell something.
Yes, think deeply, Mr. Moore. You are surrounded by what in space?
Well, this space here, it's empty. There's nothing outside. We're surrounded by
actually,
nothing.
Precisely, Mr. Moore. Now you see the bigger picture. Who wouldn't pay a hefty fee for a space souvenir?
Well, either. My name's Leslie Moore, and I'm over here in space. That's right, I'm coming to you from a rocket in outer space, and I got a special product for you. This here is useless space brand jar of vacuum. Have you ever wanted a souvenir of nothing? I mean space? Now you can with your very own jar of vacuum. It's the vacuum in space bottled into a jar just for you. There's a limited supply of space out here, so get yours now while you can. Please allow at least several months or possibly years for shipping. I'm not really sure when you'll get the product actually, but if you order 3 of these jars right now, I'll...
Hey, Leslie, can I drink that jar of vacuum?
Hunter! I'm in the middle of recording a commercial here. Just go back to sleep already. We're almost at Mars.
I'm fresh out of maple syrup and, well, I don't feel so good. I love that. I don't feel so good. took me a while to get that. I knew it would, but like just getting the lid off, and I had to redo the top of the jar so that it was lidless, and yeah, I knew that part would take me a little bit. Well, I don't feel so good. It still could have been like more 3D, like with the back facing the camera instead of like just 2D. But yeah. Anyways, it was. Okay. Terrifying speech. All right.
We have the ability to collaboratively build a more peaceful, resilient, inclusive, and sustainable world. But to do so, we need to overcome the most critical fragmentation. The most critical fragmentation is between those who take a constructive attitude and those who are just bystanders, observers, and even go into the negative, critical, and confrontational attitude. But the spirit of Davos is positive, is constructive. It means investing into a greener and therefore more sustainable economy, investing into a more cohesive society, by providing everyone with the appropriate skills and opportunities, investing into the hard and soft infrastructure that modern societies require. And here in Davos, the transition, the consequences of COVID, the reshaping of supply chains are all serving as catalytic forces for the economic transformation. And the hotspots of this geo-economic remodeling are high inflation, increasing interest rates, and growing national debt. This is particularly hurting low and middle income groups. It is exacerbating societal fragmentation. Second, the geopolitical system is also undergoing deep systemic transformation. Internationally, we are moving to what some people would call a messy patchwork of powers. There are superpowers, emerging powers, middle powers, regional powers, rogue states, and also large corporate and social media powers, all competing increasingly for power and influence. As a result, the trend is again moving towards increased fragmentation and confrontation. Thirdly, our generation has reached a turning point, confronted by truly existential problems: climate change, exploitation of nature, nuclear possible incidents, or even worse, extreme poverty and viruses. They all can lead to an extinction of large parts.
Everything Klaus Schwab says about the Great Reset is a lie. Elon Musk is trying once again to expose the truth and help us see through the falsehoods and dishonesties of the oligarchs in their attempt to change the world as we know it. But what is the Great? Now, many people spoke out against their agenda. As someone who probably has Asperger's syndrome, it would be difficult for Musk to display any of those qualities. People with Asperger's tend to be socially awkward, making it challenging for them to perform well in social situations and become generally well-liked. They are typically good with handling machines and dealing with numbers in exchange for social skills, unlike the likes of Schwab, Tony Fauci, and Bill Gates. If you find it hard to believe that a group of elite few are trying to make decisions for humanity without humanity's consent, it is a good time to remember that some of the most influential people in the world and young leaders identify with Klaus Schwab WEF and its agenda.
Okay, that's not what I wanted to watch anyways. Oh, I like what he's doing
My
with this.
special guest in this exclusive interview
JP.
today is none other than Mr. Said actual words. But I like your confidence. And I notice your eyes look like they're almost closed because your shitty face is so droopy. And some people with what's called evidence have suggested that you've orchestrated how you say the global pandemic. And they don't like it. But how do you feel about your orchestration of it?
That's what I'm maybe most proud of in my life.
I like how you just own it.
We know the health industry, the digital industry will go out of this crisis strengthened.
What a weird coincidence that the industries you control have profited so much. Huh. As such, about the great
To make sure that a majority of people are benefiting from it and not just a minority.
Well, I think if there's a person that the common people rely on to stand up for them against the agenda of the elites, it's you, Klaus.
Okay, let's see. Close Rob confronted. Was there a reporter? By reporter? I somehow doubt that a reporter would have been able to contact him, but if you have a video of that, that'd be great. Yeah, I don't see anything like that. Oh yeah. You're talking about Awaken with JP? He had a guy on his show siding with Zelensky. Told him to get his shit together. Well, that's also why I'm like, man, I've got this in the chat box off. That's also why I'm like, bro, like, don't be just a consumer. Like, get involved, you know? Go on Twitter Spaces and talk about your view of things and why you think that way. Like, I know I have acquaintances that are from Ukraine and they're like pro-Ukraine kind of stuff, but they understand it's a little bit more complex than just pro-Ukraine, anti-Russian or some shit, you know? But it's like, man, like, people need to be confronted and have conversations with people, because yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I didn't really get a clear view because I didn't watch I didn't watch hours and hours of what right, and that's why I'm like, hey, like, that's great, so spread that news, man, you know? Like, get involved, go on Spaces, become a personality, like, go on Twitter Spaces is probably the easiest way to build a presence, actually. But, oh, I know you do, bro. And I know you're, like, involved with, like, administrating groups and posting in group chats and stuff. But I'm like, JP does a lot. So that's all I'm just like, you know. Right. But, like, if you can, and I think you have bring up some good points, actually, before. But he's doing a lot for the freedom movement in general, JP. So I'm like, yo, bro, like, you know, you can't just be so black and white there. Like, oh, he had a guest on and he wasn't really talking and he wasn't calling him out very well. So he's bad.
The eldest son of former Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau was sounding a bit like his father today. 18-year-old Justin Trudeau is now a student at a community college in Montreal. It's one of many Quebec colleges gearing up for a referendum next week on the question of Quebec's place in Canada.
Arguing the federal case at Collège Jean Brébeuf today was the son of its most famous alumnus.
Le Canada ne chie pas sur le Québec.
Justin Trudeau and his team were lonely voices for the Confederation. Lonely and unpopular. And his opponents, who want a fast track to independence, were cheered before they'd even uttered a word.
Haha, of course he was.
What does Piers think of his views?
Everyone's got peer pressure at this age. I mean, there's pressure to smoke, there's pressure to do all sorts of stuff. And I've never been affected by peer pressure. Never.
Students in English language colleges
What a fucking
distance
douchebag.
themselves from the referendum.
It's not
when
about
they
peer
realized
pressure, you moron. It's about facts and reality. Yeah, I guess so, right? I don't know. I was just like, bro, like, you could make a difference too. But yeah. JP's hilarious, but nobody gets everything right. Okay, all of a sudden I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm like, wait a second.
World Expo, even if to participate for the eighth time at this important meeting, even if only in a virtual way. I
Right.
would like to express my high respect to His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin
Because I'm like, you know, if I'm gonna go and make like multiple dogs,
the
and I have to like
initiative for
do
creating
multiple
such an
different
important
people,
platform for
which
governments
actually wouldn't be a
shaping the
big
future.
problem if I knew
also
what I
want to
wanted them to
congratulate
say,
Dubai for
and
having
could just AI generate their voices.
such a successful World Expo, despite all
But just grabbing like this, I'm like, oh man.
define a longer-term narrative to make the world more resilient, more inclusive, and more sustainable. With all the current issues on our agenda, we tend to forget that we are in the midst of the fourth industrial revolution, which accelerates global change in much more comprehensive and faster ways than the previous three revolutions. I'm proud that the government of Dubai has been so foresighted in establishing a Center for the Fourth Industrial Revolution in cooperation with the World Economic Forum. The objective is to quickly recognize the potential of new technologies, as well as develop the necessary ethical and political frameworks around those new technologies to ensure that those technologies are human-centered
Yeah, that's
and
right.
society-oriented.
But if I
The
could
world
get
has
one or
to
two
overcome
funny
not
statements
only
from
the
them
damage
too,
done to our
it might work.
economies and our societies by COVID-19, it also has to confront the repercussions of a dangerous clash between major global powers. History is truly at a turning point. We do not yet know the full extent and the systemic and structural changes which will happen. However, we do know that global energy systems, food systems, and supply chains will be deeply affected. In times of crisis, the role of governments is more important and more relevant than ever.
Yeah.
What is also needed is a summit like this one to go beyond crisis management and to look into constructive ways we can build our common future. Our futures are intrinsically connected to one another, as the profound challenges to mankind, such as climate change, are globally interconnected and require collaborative responses. In conclusion, and despite all the challenges, we have to uphold our responsibility, which we have towards the next generation, and which we can only fulfill through collaboration on a national and on a global level. I wish you an impactful and successful meeting.
Yeah, that'd be great, actually. And then he could be like, we have penetrated their cabinet. It could just be something really short, like almost 15 seconds. It doesn't need to be overwhelming. So, yeah.
Of our global population. And we have seen
What would their trademark phrases be?
how much dealing with those risks, such as COVID or global warming, have again fragmented populations. And finally, the fourth industrial revolution offers us tremendous opportunities. But at the same time, technologies as computing, quantum computing, blockchain, genetics, and so on, they also could create deep societal fragmentation. We have the ability to collaboratively build a more peaceful, resilient, inclusive, and sustainable world. But
Yeah,
also,
Trudeau.
we need to overcome the most critical fragmentation is between those who take a constructive attitude and those who are just bystanders, observers, and even go into the negative nuclear.
Bystanders, observers. Where does he say great reset? Penetrate cabinet?
When I mention now names like Mrs. Merkel, even
Did he
Vladimir
smack
Putin,
his microwave? His
when
microwave?
when I mention now names like Mrs. Merkel,
No.
even Vladimir Putin, and so on, They all have been young global leaders of the World Economic Forum. But what we are very proud of now, the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina, and so on, that we penetrate the cabinets. So yesterday I was at a reception for Prime Minister Trudeau, and I know that half of this cabinet, or even more, half of this cabinet, are actually young global leaders of the World Economic Forum.
Doesn't he actually say penetrate?
Or even more, half of this that I for. So yesterday I was at a reception for Prime Minister Trudeau.
Oh, that's terrible.
When you brought the Young Global Leaders Program.
Terrible audio.
When you brought the Young Global Leaders.
This one.
What we are very proud of now is the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina, and so on, that we penetrate the cabinets.
Yeah, there,
So yesterday I was at a reception.
So he's going to be walking in his fucking weird... I mean, either him with the... There's an even funnier one, though. This one! Oh my god. Like, is that actually him? That's why I'm like, let's get him in that. Like, is that actually him, though? That's the only question I ever had when I saw that. I was like, that's hilarious because it looks like him, but is it actually him, and who took the picture? And oh, I know. I mean, it's good enough for the skit, right? But it's the same thing with the dildo on Freebase. Like, it's good enough for the skit, but I'm just curious if it's, like, actually was him. Klaus Schwab on the beach. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Who mixes up... Yeah. No way, it's actually somebody else named Schwab. Oh yeah, well apparently, look, he's wearing a butt plug. Like, apparently this is just a real dude who's Captain Max Schwab. Captain of a canoe team or something. He's just a really weird dude who likes to dress up like this. And go for walks. So people are like, oh, that's... So maybe... at the end, it's like this picture for a second where he says like, we penetrate the cabinets or whatever. But there's like 30 seconds or 20 seconds of him like saying something, and then the dogs respond somehow. So like, I mean, his name is Schwab too, which is ironic, if not like related, right? Like that is just the most ridiculous like glitch in the matrix. If this weird dude over here is named Max Schwab, but then he's like, what is he? He's got to be like brother or cousin of Klaus Schwab. Like, there's no way he's unrelated. It's just, I don't know. It's pretty trippy and hilarious. Okay, so we're gonna have True Dope. What other lines can we use for him? What other lines can we use for him? Let's see. Trudeau one-liners. See if there's videos of this.
Honorable Prime Minister. 1930. Mr. Speaker, on May 15th, 1939, more than 900 German Jews boarded an ocean liner called the St. Louis. The passengers had been stripped of their possessions, chased out of their homes, forced out of their schools, and banned from their professions by their own government. Women...
Yeah, it sounds like something you did.
Let's check
for an LGDP, LBG, LGDP, for an LGDP, for standing up. I will never apologize for standing up for an LGDP, LBG.
That's it. That's the line. That's the line from Trudeau. Right before the end where he's like, I'll penetrate your cabinet or whatever. So then who? Then who? So then Zelensky, Slava Ukraine.
When I was of our victory,
members of the Senate.
year, Slava Ukraine,
Oh, there's like,
and a happy, victorious new year, Slava Ukraine.
it's too loud here with clapping. Maybe this one. You know, maybe this one. Click, click, click. And who else? Who else we're gonna put? Oh yeah, Biden, that was it. Joe Biden Come on, man. Yeah, like.
Joe Biden made a speech yesterday that may have been the stupidest thing.
Donald Trump warns that integration is threatening our suburbs. It's ridiculous. But you know what is actually threatening our suburbs? Wildfires are burning the suburbs in the west. Floods are wiping out suburban neighborhoods in the Midwest. Hurricanes are imperiling suburban life along our coast. If we have 4 more years of Trump's climate denial, how many suburbs will be burned in wildfires?
Oh, yeah.
How many suburban neighborhoods will have been flooded out?
Trump made hurricanes.
How many suburbs will have been blown away in superstorms? If you give a climate arsonist 4 more years in the White House, why would anyone be surprised if we have more of America ablaze? If you give a climate denier 4 more years in the White House, why would anyone be surprised when more of America is underwater?
He was a bad man, so I turned him into a Jack in the Box. A Jack in the Box that still had his bad face.
But too often, the brunt falls disproportionately on communities of color, exacerbating the need for environmental justice. Sorry, as a bug. Speaking of the environment.
A bug crawling on him because he's standing in a cornfield.
Wish it in the cornfield. Please, son, wish it in the cornfield, please.
Oh, God, this guy is such a dope. And so he's probably not even reading these things before you read. He's probably not even reading them.
Yeah, he just farted really bad and it's like.
Even Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, who met with Donald Trump yesterday, even he admits that there is truth to this idea that we need better forest management. What is happening is they're not letting fires burn, right? They put the fires out so they don't burn away the brush, and they have restricted forestry, I think, to save the spotted owl. So
there's some more dumb stuff though. Like,
what's your take on the Republican convention?
People. You can't do any of that right now. Mr. Vice President, does that worry you?
Why isn't Joe Biden angrier about all of this?
When you hear these remarks, suckers, losers, what does it tell you about President Trump's soul?
What's your take on the Republican convention so far?
Do you think wearing a mask projects strength or weakness?
You think the President of the United States is rooting for the violence because he thinks it helps him politically?
You think he's...
Ukraine's president is asking the World Bank for more resources for
terror has to lose.
In which he beyond the bombings of Biden black damaged housing as he left damaged restore billions to restore schools, hospitals, damaged transportation.
That's a great asset. More inflation. What a stupid son of a bitch.
he looks at the microphone like, oh, oops.
What a stupid son of a bitch. The best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to. Anyway, we're ready to get a lot done. I just got one. Got me. Anyway, on the environment. Why would I not be for it? That's a serious question, right? If it's acceptable to me. Come on. Because of the actions we've taken, things have begun to change.
I don't want the music behind it though.
That's why I and so damn many other people I grew up have cancer. And why can't, for the longest time, Delaware had the highest cancer rate in the nation. I was put him in a single word that can be defined in a single word.
Maybe that one. As a foot of it. Come on, man. Like, that would be good. As a foot of my... Dang, yo. America... Define. Yeah, here we go.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to put him.
I just don't want the sound. Hey. Oh, maybe this will work.
What I've long said. America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was in the foothills of the Himalayas with Xi Jinping.
There's a fundament of Xi Jinping. Come on, man. I think that'll do. Okay, hold on. I got the TP. What do you think of the Greta picture? Oh, it's kind of like the Klaus Schwab picture, right? And we just proved that it's not actually Klaus Schwab in a bikini. It's just some guy who looks like him. So it's like same thing with that. I don't know. It's the same thing really with the Michael Obama thing or whatever. I'm pretty sure. I mean, who knows? Like you see a bulge in her its pants, whatever. But like, how can we know any of this for sure, right? It's just more of this I want to believe kind of, it's just a meme. That's all it is. Just, yeah. But there's a lot of people who like don't think critically, even on our side of things. And they just like see something and then they feel something and then they just believe because of what they felt, right? And it's like, it's not how thinking works. So, you know, that to me was just kind of like, I was just like, whatever. It's somebody who looks like Greta, whatever. Next. Yeah, and then what else did you send me there? Oh yeah, Flat Mars Society. Oh yeah, and then snake oil. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just, yeah, just basic pictures, basic meme pictures. It wasn't really that funny. I was like, all right, well, whatever. Thanks for sharing, love. Of course. Love to love, you know.
Traveling with him.
Okay, so as a foot of a come on, man. So we need that. What did you think about the Greta picture? Now that I've just totally accosted.
Today is actually news. Love over hate had already been rejected. That first sitting president to speak at a Sunday service at Ebenezer Baptist Church.
Where is come on, man?
Then he gets out of the hospital and he talks about don't worry, it's all going to be over soon. Come on.
Having a good relationship with leaders of other countries is a good thing.
We have a lot of questions to get to.
That's like saying we had a good relationship with Hitler before he in fact invaded Europe, the rest of Europe. Come on. Last time we were on stage here, he said, I told him to stand down and stand ready. Come on. This guy has a dog whistle about as big as a foghorn. He said, I only pay that little because I'm smart. I know how to game the system. Come on. Come on, folks. I mean, the idea that Donald Trump is lecturing me on Social Security and Medicare? Come on. All you teachers out there, not that many of you are going to die, so don't worry about it. Come on. And Mitch McConnell said, let him go bankrupt. Let him go bankrupt. Come on. Learning to live with it. Come on. We're dying with it.
Not come on, man.
And I can get things done. That's why I'm running. And you want to check my shape on? Let's do push-ups together, man. Let's run. Let's do whatever you want to do. Number two. No one has said my son has done anything wrong, and I did not on any occasion. And no one has ever said it. Not once. You said I set up my son to work in an oil company. Isn't that what you said? Get your words straight, Jack.
That's what I hear on MSNBC.
You don't hear that on MSNBC. You did not hear that. But you heard. Look, okay, I'm not going to get in argument with you, man. Well, yeah, you do, but look, Pat, look, here's the deal.
It looks like you don't have any of that golden compass.
While saying how to report out DOT,
Those focused on going after fraudsters who call borrowers. You're going to receive these calls. I tell anybody who's qualifying for these loans or trying to qualify for these loans. If you get a call pretending they're from the government trying to help you with your loans, let's be clear, hang up.
Biden getting heckled. Yeah, there's not going to be audio in that one.
Characters of our country as the rest of the world looks at us this time. And I don't believe the character of the candidates and the very character of our country as the rest of the world looks at
Super
us.
like out of shape, gluttonous sheep. Just like
In Iowa. And I know you think that's silly, but everything we can feel.
This guy over here
good.
can't even do his collar properly and pull it out of the shirt. Like,
Here's the deal.
he's
We think
that,
we're going to come
like,
out of there
fluoride
really doing
eyes.
well,
Like,
but be careful what you say because it's not done yet. I know the Iowa Democratic Party is trying to work through all the issues with that application. They had that app and other problems. I said last night, let's give the issues carefully and deliberately because a lot depends on it. So we don't know precisely how many delegates we have or how many we'll get, but I feel. Then he gets out of the. I learned a lot. And I learned a lot. Anyway, Bo was associated here. Anyway, the point I want to make is I learned so much. I learned black, white, all colors, all backgrounds. What I mean, come on, man. Men, women, gay, straight. Men, women, come on, man. Backgrounds. What I mean. White, all colors, all backgrounds. What I mean, come on, man. I learned.
There's new blowback for Joe Biden's interview in which he asked a reporter if he was a junkie.
Insight into Joe Biden's bizarre outburst straight from you.
Have you taken a cognitive?
No, I haven't taken a test. Why the hell would I take a test? Come on, man.
There it is. Yes. Say it. Say the line. Come on, man.
That's like saying you, before you got in this program, you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not. What do you think, huh? Are you a junkie?
What do you say?
I take a test. No, I haven't taken. Why the hell? Come on, man.
Come on, man. As a come on, man. Okay. So, normal speed. This one on normal speed. I'll do a Biden clip here real quick.
That's like saying you, before you got. That's like. Come on, man. That's like saying. Let me close with what I've long said. America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to excuse me.
Okay, recording done for Biden. Oh, I could.
More inflation. What a stupid son of a bitch. Inflation. What a stupid son of a bitch.
Oh, I think I should have that though.
Inflation. What a stupid son of a bitch.
Okay. And Trudeau, yeah. He'll.
Never apologize for standing up for an LBG.
Oh yeah, definitely. Same with Trudeau. Okay, so and then the Slava Ukraini. That's something I didn't really have. Kind of got the Klaus Schwab. I could just leave him out. Like, yeah, Canada's leader and Biden's leader. I think that actually works quite well. It'll be two dogs.
For Prime Minister, the cabinets, so that we penetrate the cabinets. So, Rashid Al Maktoum, for having taken the initiative for creating such an important global platform for governments shaping the future. I also want to congratulate Dubai full extent and the systemic and structural changes which will happen. However, we do know that global energy systems, food systems and supply chains will be deeply affected. Dangerous clash between
yeah, I might even take like a clip of the I don't even really need to reassemble it. Yeah, but I might take like a stack of those uhs and ooms and uhs and put that with Trudeau's LGBTQ
global powers. History is truly at a turning point. We do not yet know the full extent and the systemic and structural changes which will happen. However,
this was just recently, so.
Together under the motto.
What the heck are they doing? Oh, because they just had music on. I was like,
Thank you, Angelique and Aman, for this musical opening of the meeting.
So that's 6 minutes here. I'll do that, okay.
Oh, yes, Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina, the young generation, like Prime Minister. Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina, and so on. Generation like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina, and so on, so that we penetrate the cabinets. So yesterday I was at a reception for Prime Minister Trudeau, and I know that half of this cabinet, or even more, half of this cabinet, are for our actually young global leaders of the world. Even if only in a virtual way. I would like to express my high respect to His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum for having taken the initiative for creating such an important global platform for governments shaping the future. I also want to congratulate Dubai for having organized such a successful World Expo despite all the repercussions of the global pandemic. Last November, in partnership with His Excellency Mohammed Al-Gargawi, we brought together 60 top intellectual thinkers here in Dubai. Thank you to His Excellency for enabling this initiative to define a longer-term narrative to make the world more resilient, more inclusive and more sustainable. With all the current issues on our agenda, we tend to forget that we are in the midst of the fourth industrial revolution, which accelerates global change in much more comprehensive and faster ways than the previous three revolutions. I'm proud that the government of Dubai has been so foresighted in establishing a Center for the Fourth Industrial Revolution in cooperation with the World Economic Forum. The objective is to quickly recognize the potential of new technologies, as well as develop the necessary ethical and political frameworks around those new technologies to ensure that those technologies are human-centered and society-oriented. The world has to overcome not only the damage done to our economies and our societies by COVID-19, it also has to confront the repercussions of a dangerous clash between major global powers. History is truly at a turning point. We do not yet know the full extent and the systemic and structural changes which will happen. However, we do know that global energy systems, food systems and supply chains will be deeply affected. In times of crisis, the role of governments is more important and more relevant than ever. What is also needed is a summit like this one to go beyond crisis management and to look into constructive ways we can build our common future. Our futures are intrinsically connected to one another, as the profound challenges to mankind, such as climate change, are globally interconnected and require collaborative responses. In conclusion, and despite all the challenges, we have to uphold our responsibility, which we have towards the next generation, and which we can only fulfill through collaboration on a national and on a global level. I wish you an impactful and successful meeting. Your Royal Highnesses, Excellencies, distinguished heads of state and government, Excellencies, dear partners and friends of the World Economic Forum, a very cordial welcome to the 2023 annual meeting. We are coming together under the motto, Cooperation in a Fragmented World. At the beginning of this year, we are confronted with unprecedented and multiple challenges. First, our global economy is undergoing deep transformation. The energy transition, the consequences of COVID, the reshaping of supply chains are all serving as catalytic forces for the economic transformation. And the hotspots of this geo-economic remodeling are high inflation, increasing interest rates, and growing national debt. This is particularly hurting low and middle income groups. It is exacerbating societal fragmentation. Second, the geopolitical system is also undergoing deep systemic transformation. Internationally, we are moving to what some people would call a messy patchwork of powers. There are superpowers, emerging powers, middle powers, regional powers, rogue states, and also large corporate and social media powers, all competing increasingly for power and influence. As a result, the trend is again moving towards increased fragmentation and confrontation. Thirdly, our generation has reached a turning point, confronted by truly existential problems: climate change, exploitation of nature, nuclear possible incidents, or even worse, extreme poverty and viruses. They all can lead to an extinction of large parts of our global population. And we have seen how much dealing with those risks, such as COVID or global warming, have again fragmented populations. And finally, the fourth industrial revolution offers us tremendous opportunities, but at the same time, technologies as computing, quantum computing, blockchain, genetics, and so on, they also could create deep societal fragmentation. We have the ability to collaboratively build a more peaceful, resilient, inclusive, and sustainable world. But to do so, we need to overcome the most critical fragmentation. And the most critical fragmentation is between those who take a constructive attitude and those who are just bystanders, observers, and even go into the negative, critical, and confrontational attitude. But the spirit of Davos is positive, is constructive. It means investing into a greener and therefore more sustainable economy, investing into a more cohesive society by providing everyone with the appropriate skills and opportunities, investing into the hard and soft infrastructure that modern societies require. And here in Davos, it means, despite all those challenges, it means particularly investing in the spirit and the practice of solving problems through mutual respect and cooperation. We believe that we can do it, that through collective responsibility, innovation, human goodwill, and ingenuity, we have the capacity to turn the challenges into opportunities. Ladies and gentlemen, I have now the great pleasure and honor to introduce Alain Berset, President of the Swiss Confederation and Federal Counselor for the Federal Department of Internal Affairs. The World Economic Forum has been based in Switzerland for 53 years, and it is over this period the cooperation between the Swiss federal government, the Canton of Graubünden.
All right. That was.
Breathtaking speed. It will be like a tsunami. Taking speed.
Yeah, right. But don't worry, the
And so you just come from the UN and obviously talk to global.
What we are seeing, if I would have to describe my concerns at the moment, we are in I would say there are three major concerns, which we try also to integrate into our programs. The first one is that we are clearly in the transition from a unipolar India as a polar world. The first one is that we are clearly in the transition from a unipolar to a multipolar world. And not just with China, but India as a country is coming up, and we will see, hopefully, I'm always an optimist, we will see a renaissance also of the European Union with Macron and with Mrs. Merkel re-elected next Sunday. So we are going into a multipolar world, and unfortunately, in this multipolar world, we have also a multi-conceptual world. Countries, powers, which have different concepts of life, of political life particularly, as we do have.
who is the eat the bugs, eat the bugs, and own nothing and be happy?
But I go back. I mean, when I grew up, I'm German German and Swiss. But when I grew up during the Cold War, I remember that my mother always had a number of gold coins in her purse to leave the city we were in the matter of some hours or some minutes if the Russians would come. I mean, the world was always full of tensions. I'm more concerned, frankly, about the impact of the possible negative impact of the fourth industrial revolution, which means the fast technological.
Yeah, I know it's him, but did he say it? Like, can we get a clip of it? It seemed like it might have been scrubbed, but what about?
What we call this, in the past, we talked about the proletariat in the first industrial revolution. Now we talk about the precariat, which means all those people who feel in a precarious situation because they feel threatened through the technological progress. So my big concern, and we are very engaged. We just opened half a year ago with great success a campus in San Francisco to look at the implications of the fourth industrial revolution. So my big concern is how do we master this revolution to make sure that we use the opportunities and we make sure that this technological progress remains human-centered. So that's my second one. My third one is the issue of inclusiveness. And again here, the technological and economic development, of course, creates more a polarized society. So those are more or less the key.
Go ahead and load. Come on, Rumble. Do something. Try Odyssey.
You will own nothing.
messages, network of red privacy, unwearing claim only. A square. Oh my goodness. Just for good and the gateway D requested run method bad.
Oh, this.
New transfer?
Yes.
Good. Look up. So what do you think of your new work pod? Pretty nice, right?
Yeah. It's a bit cramped though.
Oof. That's bad speak. I'll let you sort that out. See you at the mandatory chivalry roll call dance later today.
Yikes. You have violated your employment smart contract. Replaying offending speech.
It's a bit cramped though.
This statement is in direct contradiction with the verified Snopes fact that Open Office 2.0 is comfortably spacious, combining the safety of closed cubicles with the communal spirit of open office environments. You have been deducted 20 good boy tokens from your weekly income. Warning, projected weekly income is insufficient.
Gentlemen, we have called you together to inform you that we are going to overthrow the United States government.
You will eat the bugs, and you will own the nothing.
I mean, that.
Young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, half of this government, are actually younger members of the Nordic Graveyard. We penetrate the cabinets. The change is not
Mortal
just.
Kombat tournament will now commence. Does this oh bitch, you think that yeah, I gotta hurry. They said I could smell as many kids as I want if I win. Maybe I'll get to kill another cinematographer.
I'm trying to find that speech with him wearing the Mortal Kombat clothes. I think just
referred to
yeah, that could work actually.
weapons for the South African government. In 1972, the Club of Rome
He could even be doing this, like.
which planted the seeds of the depopulation agenda. And while Kahn, Kissinger, and Galbraith helped Schwab get started, what really brought him the international support he was hoping for was when he introduced the ideas of depopulation. In 1972, the Club of Rome's founder
Yeah,
was
definitely.
by Schwab to make the keynote speech in 1973. As controversial as it was, even Herman Kahn opposed it.
Right? It's like a glitch in the Matrix.
The Forum suddenly caught the attention and financial support of powerful elitists everywhere and blew up to what it has become today.
But where's the speech of him saying own
Supervillain persona is a deliberate marketing tactic to gain the attention from those who seek power and wealth, to join Klaus Schwab as stakeholders in society.
Okay, that's not actually something he said, but that's something his colleagues said, I think. Right. What is ESG? Environmental, social, and governance. Okay. That was just yesterday. Yeah. Well, it's fun. It's funny because it's kind of ironic as he's wearing like a costume with the Satan logo or whatever. Oh, look what. Look what he posted, actually. That's great. That was just 11 hours ago, so this is fresh. Okay. So I think I'm just gonna put him in this outfit. He's gonna be like a mini me of Dr. Evil. So I'll like literally use this. And he'll be walking, and then he'll end with yeah, where the heck is him?
Good day, folks. Every parent and grandparent needs
Initiative we have under the leadership of Cisco and many other. We put emphasis on what I said before, public-private partnerships, which we accompany. So when we define a project like our Global Educational Initiative, we have under the leadership of Cisco and many other companies, practically all the big names, we try to revolutionize the educational system by working together with the local authorities. We work also together with UNESCO, not only to equip the schools, but to retrain the teachers, to put the new curricula into place.
So there you have it. The World Economic Forum wants to control the curriculum. Now, check this out about the teachers' unions, and many of you remember this during the pandemic, how they operated, but this was their reward.
Corey, you say that teachers' unions are substantially to blame for public schools staying closed during the pandemic. Why do you say that?
Absolutely. There are 6 rigorous studies on the topic. I did the first one with a co-author named Christos Makridis, and each of these studies found that places that had stronger teachers' unions, all else equal, were substantially and statistically less likely to reopen their schools in person. Think about it. The private schools were fighting to reopen from the get-go, but you had the public school teachers' unions fighting to remain closed. And the main difference there is one of incentives. That one of those sectors receives children's education dollars regardless of whether they even open their doors for business. But it was actually even worse than that with the COVID school closures, because the teachers' unions started to understand that they could actually hold children's education hostage, essentially in perpetuity, to secure multiple multi-billion-dollar ransom payments from the federal government. And it actually worked out for them. There's about $190 billion in so-called COVID relief that have been allocated to K-12 education since March of 2020. That's about $3,000 to $4,000 per student, on top of what the government-run schools were already spending of about $16,000 per student per year. You had a Chicago teachers union strike vote in 2022. They were still fear-mongering about reopening schools. The same union had to delete a tweet saying that the push to reopen schools is rooted in racism, sexism, and misogyny. You had the same teachers union ridiculed because a board member was vacationing in Puerto Rico in person while railing against going back to work in person.
So there you have it, folks.
Okay. I'm gonna give up on the eats the bugs thing, but there was that one song. Dang, did I lose that already? That one like song that had dang, I did lose it. I should have used that.
Revolution is a combination of technological breakthroughs which will completely change business models, society, economies. Fourth industrial revolution is coming with enormous speed, and we change not only what we are doing, but who we are. The world will grow more together in the digital age. We are becoming more interdependent. We will have not less, we will have more globalization. But the question is, how do we master and how do we construct this new type of globalization? I call it globalization 4.0. It's poison for society. We cannot leave people behind. We have to make everything to ensure social cohesion of a society, because social cohesion is the prerequisite for a democratically functioning country.
Okay, I give up. We've got enough anyways, but let's get going before it's too late. We only need it to be like 15 to 20 seconds, so doesn't need to be a lot. What are we gonna call it? Just Dr. Evil? What's today? 18. Oh yeah, Klaus let the dogs out. That's a good title. I think for a short title, I'll just call it Dr. Evil. Well, we'll see. I always make the folder first, and so I have to like come up with the title before I'm really ready to come up with the title. So the title of the YouTube video will be Close, Let the Dogs Out, but that's too long for just the folder's name. Okay, wait a second.
Such a successful work.
Yeah, bro, yeah. No, and I love Close, Let the Dogs Out. But yeah, I was like, I'm not going to rename the folder that. I'm just going to leave the folder called Dr. Evil. We'll go with Close, Let the Dogs Out on the YouTube video.
Before you got, that's like, come on, man. Come on, man. That's like, let me close without, that's like saying, let me close what I've long said. America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to put him, excuse me. I was going to put him, excuse me. I was going to put him, excuse me.
What is this one? Biden.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
This is going to get kind of boring.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
Oh, yeah.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
Never apologize for standing up for LGBT, LBT. Never apologize for standing up for an LGBT, for standing up for an LGBT, LB. Never apologize for an LGBT, LBT. Never apologize for an LGBT, LBT.
Here we go. Yeah, so like for this, I'm just going to call it Dr. Evil. Dr. Evil is a working title, but yeah, the YouTube title, you nailed it, bro. Fucking nailed it. Oops. Biden. Trudeau. Oh, this is, yeah, that's the one. And then Klaus. Is there only one Klaus? It is obviously freaking super long. I've got to cut this up. But is there only one? That's the question. There was only 4 videos, so I seem to think there was more than that, but
Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Brazil, Prime Minister Trudeau, President, Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Brazil, of Argentina, and so on. Generation like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Brazil, of Argentina, and so on. That we penetrate the cabinets. So yes. Come to the foresighted in establishing that we penetrate the cabinets. We penetrate that we penetrate Prime Minister Trudeau the cabinets. So yesterday I was at a reception for Prime Minister Trudeau, and I know that half of this cabinet, or even more half of this cabinet are for our actually young global leaders of the world. Half of this cabinet, or even more half of this cabinet, half of this cabinet half of this cabinet, half of this cabinet. Half of this cabinet, or even more half of this cabinet, or even more half. Or even more half of this cabinet are for our actually young global leaders of the world. Even if only in a virtual way. I would like to express my high respect to His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum for having taken the initiative for creating such an important global platform for governments shaping the future. I also want to congratulate Dubai for having organized such a successful World Expo despite all the repercussions of the global pandemic. Last November, in partnership with His Excellency Mohammed Al Gargawi, we brought together 60 top intellectual thinkers here in Dubai. Thank you to His Excellency for enabling this initiative to define a longer-term narrative to make the world more. 60 top intellectual thinkers here in Dubai. Thank you to His Excellency for enabling this initiative to define a longer-term narrative to make the world more resilient, more inclusive, and more sustainable. With all the current issues on our agenda, we tend to forget that we are in the midst of the fourth industrial revolution, which accelerates global change in much more comprehensive and faster ways than the previous 3 revolutions. I'm proud, which accelerates global change in much more comprehensive and faster ways than the previous 3 revolutions. I'm proud that the government of Dubai has been so foresighted in establishing a center for the fourth industrial revolution in cooperation with the World Economic Forum. The objective is to quickly recognize the potential of new technologies, as well as develop the necessary ethical and political frameworks around those new technologies to ensure that those technologies are human-centered and society-oriented. The world has to overcome not only the damage done to our economies and our societies by COVID-19, it also has to confront the repercussions of a dangerous clash between major global powers. History is truly at a turning point. We do not yet know the full extent and the systemic and structural changes which will happen. However, we do know that global energy systems, food systems, and supply chains will be deeply affected. In times of crisis, the role of governments is more important and more relevant than ever. In times of crisis, the role of governments is more important.
Oh, crisis. Is it Kaisers? Who the f is...
What is also needed is a summit like this one to go beyond crisis management and to look into constructive ways we can build our common future. Our futures are in... What is also needed is a summit like this one to go beyond crisis management and to look into constructive ways we can build our common future. Our futures are intrinsically connected to one another as the profound challenges to mankind, such as climate change, are globally interconnected and require collaborative responses. Challenges to mankind, such as climate change, are globally interconnected and require collaborative responses. In conclusion, despite all the challenges...
Whoops.
In conclusion, and despite all the challenges, in conclusion, and despite all the challenges, we have to uphold our responsibility, which we have towards the next generation, and which we can only fulfill through collaboration on a national and on... We have to uphold our responsibility, which we have towards the next generation, and which we can only fulfill through collaboration on a national and on a global level. I wish you an impactful and successful meeting. Your Royal Highnesses, Excellencies, distinguished heads of state and government, Excellencies, dear partners and friends of the World Economic Forum, a very cordial welcome to the 2023 annual meeting. We are coming together under the motto, cordial welcome to the 2023 annual meeting. We are coming together under the motto, cooperation in a fragmented world. At the beginning of this year, we are confronted with unprecedented and multiple challenges. First, our global economy is undergoing deep transformation. The energy transition, the consequences of COVID, the reshaping of supply chains are all serving as catalytic forces for the economic transformation. And the hotspots of this geo-economic remodeling are high inflation, increasing interest rates, and growing national debt. This is particularly hurting low and middle-income groups. It is exacerbating societal fragmentation. Second, it is exacerbating societal fragmentation. Second, the geopolitical system is also undergoing deep systemic transformation. Internationally, we are moving to what some people would call a messy patchwork of powers. There are superpowers, emerging powers, moving to what some people would call a messy patchwork of powers. There are superpowers, emerging powers, middle powers, regional powers, oak states, and also large corporate and social media powers, all competing increasingly for power and influence. As a result, the trend is again moving towards increased fragmentation and confrontation. Thirdly, our generation has reached a turning point, confronted by truly existential problems. Climate change, exploitation of nature, problems. Climate change, exploitation of nature, nuclear, possible incidents, or even worse, extreme poverty and viruses. They all can lead to an extinction of large parts of our global population. Nuclear, possible incidents, or even worse, extreme poverty and viruses. They all can lead to an extinction of large parts of our global population. And we have seen how much dealing with those risks, such as COVID or global warming, have again fragmented populations. And finally, the fourth industrial revolution offers us tremendous opportunities. But at the same time, technologies as computing, quantum computing, blockchain, genetics, and so on, quantum computing, blockchain, genetics, and so on, they also could create deep societal fragmentation. also could create deep societal fragmentation. We have the ability to collaboratively build a more peaceful, resilient, inclusive and sustainable world. But to do so, we need to overcome the most critical fragmentation. And the most critical fragmentation is between those who take a constructive attitude and those who are just bystanders, observers, and even go into the negative, critical, and confrontational attitude. But the spirit of Davos is positive, is constructive. It means investing into a greener and therefore more sustainable economy, investing into a... But the spirit of Davos is positive, into the negative, critical, and confrontational. Davos is positive. Into the negative, critical, and confrontational attitude. But the spirit of Davos is into the negative, critical, and confrontational attitude. Into the negative, critical, and confrontational attitude. It's constructive. It means investing into a greener and therefore more sustainable economy, investing into a more cohesive society by providing everyone with the appropriate skills and opportunities, investing into the hard and soft infrastructure that modern societies require. Into the hard and soft infrastructure that modern societies require. And here in Davos, it means despite all those challenges, it means particularly investing in the spirit and the practice of solving problems through mutual respect and cooperation. We believe that we can do it, that through collective responsibility, innovation, human goodwill, and ingenuity, we have the capacity to turn the challenges into opportunities.
Almost done.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have now the great pleasure and honor to introduce Alain Berset, President of the Swiss Confederation and Federal Counselor for the Federal Department of Internal Affairs. The World Economic Forum has been based in Switzerland for 53 years, and it is over this period the cooperation between the Swiss federal government, the canton of Graubünden.
Done. Okay. So let's see what I've clipped. Put it all together. See how long it is. Because I've actually got quite a bit, more than I thought. But a lot of little... A lot of little stuff. But this is the most of these political memes. Because it's just like... assembling what they said into what they really said. Or at least from my perspective. Okay, so that's much better. It's still a lot, but let's kind of put them a bit closer and see here. Let's play it.
That we penetrate Prime Minister Trudeau. That we penetrate Prime Minister. I penetrate Prime Minister Trudeau. Or even more, half of this cabinet, which accelerates global change, of a dangerous clash between major global powers. We do know that global energy systems, food systems, and supply chains will be deeply affected. What is also needed is a summit like this one, are intrinsically connected, such as climate change. In conclusion, we have to uphold our responsibility. A very cordial welcome to the 2023 annual meeting. The reshaping of supply chains is accelerating societal fragmentation. It's also undergoing deep systemic transformation. messy patchwork of chaos. Our generation has reached a turning point. A messy patchwork of chaos. Deep systemic transformation. Our generation has reached a turning point. Climate change. They all can lead to an extinction of large parts of our global population. Quantum computing, they also could create deep societal. Our generation has reached a turning point. Quantum computing, climate change of large parts of our global population. An extinction. To an extinction. Our generation has reached a turning point. Quantum computing, climate change, extinction. They also could create deep societal fragmentation. We need to overcome the most critical fragmentation. But the spirit of Davos is into the negative, critical, and confrontational attitude. The most critical fragmentation. Extinction. The most critical fragmentation. Davos is into the negative, critical, and confrontational attitude. The World Economic Forum has been based in Switzerland. World Economic Forum has been. The World Economic Forum. Could create deep societal fragmentation. We need. But the spirit of Davos is into the negative, critical. But the spirit of Davos is into the negative, critical, and confrontational attitude. The World Economic Forum. The most critical fragmentation. Extinction. It also could create deep societal fragmentation. The World Economic Forum, they also could create deep societal fragmentation. The most critical fragmentation. Extinction. The World Economic Forum. The World Economic Forum, they also could create deep societal fragmentation. The most critical fragmentation. Extinction. We need to overcome the most critical fragmentation. We need to overcome the World Economic Forum. The spirit of Davos is into the negative, critical, and confrontational attitude. The World Economic Forum, they also could create deep societal fragmentation. The most critical fragmentation. Extinction. We need to overcome the World Economic Forum. To overcome.
Okay, we're getting somewhere. Where it is to where we're going.
Very cordial welcome to the 2023 annual meeting. A messy patchwork of powers. Deep systemic transformation. I penetrate Prime Minister Trudeau. Or even more, half of this cabinet. I penetrate. Or even more, half of the. I penetrate, or even more, half of this cabinet, which act. of this cabinet. The patchwork of powers. Deep systemic transformation. I penetrate half of this cabinet. Which
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. That's a good idea. What kind of dog is Biden?
accelerates global change of a dangerous clash between major global powers. We do know that global energy systems, food systems, and supply chains will be deeply affected. What is also needed is a summit like this one are intrinsically connected, such as climate change. In conclusion, we have to uphold our responsibility. The reshaping of supply chains, it is exacerbating societal fragmentation. I penetrate Prime Minister Trudeau.
That's gonna be a raid at the end.
Never apologize for an LGDP.
A very cordial welcome.
What a stupid
to
son
the
of a bitch.
2020. Annual meeting. Messy patchwork of powers. Deep systemic. Messy patchwork of powers. 2023 annual meeting.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
Messy patchwork of powers. Deep systemic transformation. I penetrate half of this cabinet, which accelerates global change of a dangerous clash between major global powers. We do know that global energy systems, food systems, which accelerates global change of a dangerous clash between major global powers. We do know that global energy systems, food systems, and supply chains will be deeply affected. What is also needed is a summit like this one are intrinsically connected, such as climate change. In conclusion, we have to uphold our responsibility. The reshaping of supply chains, we do know that global energy systems, food systems, and supply chains will be deeply affected. What is also needed is a summit like this one are intrinsically connected, such as climate change. In conclusion, we have to uphold our responsibility. The reshaping of supply chains. Annual meeting.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
A messy patchwork of powers. Deep systemic transformation. I penetrate half of this cabinet. I penetrate half of this cabinet. A messy patchwork of powers. Deep systemic transformation. I penetrate deep half of this cabinet. A messy patchwork of powers. Systemic transformation. We do know that global energy systems, food systems, and supply chains will be deeply affected. What is also needed is a summit like this one are intrinsically connected, such as climate change. In conclusion, we have to uphold our responsibility. We do know that global energy systems, food systems, and supply chains will be deeply affected. What is also needed is a summit like this one are intrinsically connected, such as climate change. In conclusion, we have to uphold our responsibility. The reshaping of supply chains, systemic transformation. Generation has reached a turning point. Quantum computing, climate change, extinction. I penetrate Prime Minister Trudeau.
Okay, let's see. What does Joe say here again?
Come on, man. I was gonna put him.
Our generation has reached a turning. generation has reached a turning point. Quantum computing, climate change, extinction.
I penetrate Prime Minister Trudeau.
Never apologize for an LGDP, LBG.
Come on, man.
Systemic transformation. Climate change.
Also
In
for
conclusion,
them,
we have to uphold our responsibility. Systems and dangerous clash between major global powers. Our generation has reached a turning point. Quantum computing, climate change, extinction. We do know that global energy systems, food systems, and supply chains will be deeply affected. What is also needed is a summit like this one are intrinsically connected, such as climate change. In conclusion, we have to uphold our responsibility. The reshaping of supply chains, systemic transformation. Also needed is a summit like this one.
Wow, what else do I have here?
Also for them,
But the spirit of Davos is into the in conclusion, such as climate change. Climate change. But it's the spirit of climate change. We need to overcome climate change. But the spirit of Davos is into the negative, critical, and confrontational attitude. We do know that economic global energy systems, food systems, societal, critical, and confrontational attitude. The World Economic Forum they also could create. But the spirit of Davos is into the negative, critical.
Yeah, he's got to be turned up. But it's also like you're turned down the sound coming through. Like here, I'll put it at full volume.
We need to overcome climate change. But the spirit of Davos is into the negative.
Yeah, I'll balance the sound later though. But all of my audio output is lower than my voice right now. And then I'm looking at this graph at the bottom here, like this bar.
Overcome climate change.
And as long as it's like kind of in this range,
the World Economic Forum they also could create.
then it's gonna be good. But yeah, I do balance the sound.
But the spirit of Davos is into the negative, critical.
Back that one there.
Overcome climate change. But the spirit of Davos is into the negative, critical. The World Economic Forum they also could create deep societal fragmentation. Also could create deep societal fragmentation. It's the most critical fragmentation. Forms they also could create deep societal fragmentation. It's the most critical fragmentation. Extinction. To overcome climate change. But the spirit of Davos is into the negative. The World Economic Forum they all create deep society. We need to overcome climate change. But the spirit of Davos is into the negative. The World Economic Forum they also could create deep societal fragmentation. It's the most critical fragmentation. Extinction. We do know that global energy systems, food systems, and supply chains will be deeply affected. What is also needed is that global energy systems, food systems, and supply chains will be deeply affected. What is also needed is a summit like this one are intrinsic, such as climate change. In conclusion, are intrinsically connected, such as climate change. In conclusion, we have to uphold our responsibility. The reshaping of supply chains, systemic transformation. We do know that global energy systems, food systems, of powers. We need to overcome climate change. But the spirit of Davos has been to the negative. The World Economic Forum, they also could create deep societal fragmentation. The most critical fragmentation. Extinction. We do know that global energy systems, food systems, and supply chains will be deeply affected. In conclusion, we have to uphold our responsibility. The reshaping of supply chains, systemic transformation. Our generation has reached a turning point. Quantum computing, climate change, extinction. I penetrate Prime Minister Trudeau.
That's like the only funny part though. I'm like, wait. Okay, let's.
A very cordial welcome to the 2023 annual meeting. Very cordial welcome to the welcome to the 2023 annual meeting.
It's kind of cool when I'm like, okay, wait, how short can I make it? Like, I want it to be.
Penetrate deep half to overcome climate change. But the spirit economic forms there. Welcome to the 2023 the World Economic Forum. The World Economic Welcome to the 2023 World Economic Forum. They also could create deep societal. Davos has been to the negative. They also could create deep societal fragmentation. The most critical fragmentation. We need to overcome climate change. But the spirit of Davos has been to the negative. The most critical fragmentation. Extinction. We do know that global energy systems. I penetrate deep half of this cabinet. A messy patchwork of powers. We need to overcome climate change. But the spirit of Davos has been to the negative. The most critical fragmentation. Extinction. But the spirit of Davos has been to the negative. The most critical fragmentation. Extinction. We do know that global energy systems, food systems, and supply chains will be deeply affected. In conclusion, we have to uphold our responsibility. The reshaping of supply chains, systemic transformation. Our generation has reached a turning point. Quantum computing, climate change, extinction. I penetrate Prime Minister Trudeau.
Never apologize for an LGDP, LBT.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
Should it end with "Come on, man"? Or "What a stupid son of a bitch"?
Come on, man.
The spirit of Davos. The 2023 World Economic Forum.
I was going to put him, excuse me.
I penetrate deep half of this cabinet. We need to overcome climate change. But the spirit of Davos has been to the negative. The most critical fragmentation. Extinction.
A stupid son of a bitch.
We do know that global energy systems, food systems, and chains will be deeply affected. In conclusion, we have to uphold our responsibility. The reshaping of supply chains, systemic transformation. We do know we have to uphold our responsibility. The reshaping of supply chains, systemic transformation. We have to uphold our responsibility. The reshaping of supply chains, systemic transformation. Our generation has reached a turning point. Quantum computing, climate change, extinction. I penetrate Prime Minister Trudeau.
Oh yeah, that's.
I'll put him, foot. What a stupid son. What a stupid son of a bitch. Stupid son of a bitch. Stupid son of a bitch.
Right, it could be either way.
Man.
Stupid son of a bitch.
But it could go this way too.
Stupid son of a bitch.
Come on, man.
LBG.
Stupid son of a bitch.
Come on, man.
All right, 35 seconds, perfect.
To the 2023 World Economic Forum.
I was going to put him, excuse me.
I penetrate deep half of this.
Whoops.
To overcome. I penetrate deep half of this cabinet. We need to overcome climate change. But the spirit of Davos has been to the negative, the most critical fragmentation, extinction.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
We do know we have to uphold our responsibility. The reshaping of supply chains, systemic transformation. Our generation has reached a turning point.
Tom.
Need to overcome climate change. But the spirit of Davos has been to the negative, the most critical fragmentation, extinction.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
We do know we have to uphold our responsibility. The reshaping of supply chains, system. Responsibility. The reshaping of supply chains, systemic transformation. Our generation has reached a turning point. Quantum computing, climate change, extinction. I penetrate Prime Minister Trudeau.
Never apologize for an LGDP, LBG.
Stupid son of a bitch.
Come on, man.
Perfect. I like it. One more time.
To the 2023 World Economic Forum.
I was going to put him, excuse me.
I penetrate deep half of this cabinet. We need to overcome climate change. But the spirit of Davos has been to the negative, the most critical fragmentation, extinction.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
We do know we have to uphold our responsibility. The reshaping of supply chains, systemic transformation. Our generation has reached a turning point. Quantum computing, climate change, extinction. I penetrate Prime Minister Trudeau.
Never apologize for an LGDP, LBG.
Stupid son of a bitch.
Come on, man.
The perfect trifecta of retards. Oh man.
Welcome to the 2023 World Economic Forum.
I was going to put him, excuse me.
I penetrate deep half of this cabinet. World Economic Forum.
I was going to put him, excuse me.
I penetrate deep half of this cabinet. We need to overcome climate change. But the spirit of Davos has been to the negative, the most critical fragmentation, extinction.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
But the spirit of Davos has been to the negative. The most critical fragmentation, extinction.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
We do know we have to uphold our responsibility. The reshaping.
Stupid son of a bitch.
We do know we have to uphold our responsibility.
Come on, man.
Stupid son of a bitch.
Come on, man.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
We do know we have to uphold our responsibility. The reshaping of supply chains, systemic transformation. Our generation has reached a turning point. Quantum computing, climate change, extinction. I penetrate Prime Minister Trudeau.
Never apologize for an LGDP, LBG.
Stupid son of a bitch.
Come on, man.
Okay, cool. So now, like, I need a few sound effects. So, yeah, Chuck, I'm glad you do, bro. Yeah, you're my main politic homie, so I'm like, yeah, if Chuck likes it, then it's good. Fuck yeah, my dude. It's yeah, what kind of sound effects? Like, what should we have? We need like evil sound effects and goofy sound effects.
2023 World Economic
But
Forum.
on that note, I'm gonna take a quick break and yeah, try to get the sound done at least for tonight. I don't think I'm gonna. Well, we'll see. I might work till like 2 in the morning and maybe be able to get it done. I just want them walking down the beach with Klaus and the dogs, and a few different goofy faces, as goofy as I can get. Maybe just a couple different faces, their jaws moving when they talk, and at the end, Klaus turns into his body changes. He's gonna be Dr. Evil for most of it as he's walking, and then he's gonna be in that goofy, like, strap-on, fucking kinky, dumb, weird outfit for the last, like, I don't know.
Prime Minister penetrate Prime Minister Trudeau.
Never apologize.
From right here. Right here he changes.
Prime Minister Trudeau.
Yeah, beach outfit right
for
there.
LGBT,
As soon as he says,
I penetrate Prime Minister Trudeau.
Never apologize for an LGBT, LBG.
Stupid son of a bitch.
Come on, man.
I was gonna put him I was gonna put him
okay, sound effects. After a break. I'll be right back. All right. Appreciate your outlook on it, homie. I think it's going to be gold too. All of the worst people in one spot.
Welcome to the 2020.
Okay, let's see what we can find for evil sound effects. Okay, I need that picture of this guy. Here we go. Also need almost want that scrubbed off my computer. Here I am putting it. Is it a JPG? Yeah, sure. You cannot has cheeseburger. That's pretty good. So what else do we need? We're gonna need dogs. So like a Chihuahua. I don't even know. I have no idea. Yeah, there. Thank you, internet, for spelling Chihuahua properly for me, because I sure don't know how. The Chihuahua is definitely getting the short end of this stick. Dang. Sorry, Chihuahua. I could make... Oh, here we go. I could make a cartoon or render a cartoon. But then, do I use the same Trudeau faces? I guess I could because I already have him. I'll just use the same faces and put him on a dog. And then, what would Biden be? Like, what's the ugliest dog? I don't know. It doesn't really need to be an ugly dog. He could just be like one of these dogs. Yeah, I mean, I could just use these two. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I mean, the hairless kind of... This could be Trudeau. And this could be Biden on this side. Yeah, I think so. I think that's it. So keep those two dogs open. We've got Klaus. We'll need a few pictures of his face. The two is... Yeah, like those could be there. But I'm like, you know what? I'll use this one and this one. Yeah. Pretty good, pretty good. The hairy one might be a bit... Might turn out a bit worse. So yeah, now we... The beach... The leashes I'll make in After Effects. We need sound effects. Oh yeah, evil sounds. Oh, creepy. I like this one. I don't really like these sounds that much. I mean, I get what they're doing there, but definitely that one. Oh, that one's even way too creepy for you. This one would work too, but okay. So there's suspense sounds too. What other kind of sounds? Definitely some of those. Probably mostly just like those kind of sounds that are like ding! Like just kind of like some kind of effect that doesn't really...
I penetrate deep half of this cabinet. We need to overcome climate change. But the spirit of Davos is into the negative, the most critical fragmentation, extinction.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
And like a duh, some duh sounds, some suspense sounds, and I was even thinking maybe like Greta could just like pop on and be like blah 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 for just like a second when he says climate change.
Penetrate deep half of this. We do know we have to uphold our responsibility.
Does he still
to overcome climate change? But the spirit of climate change. But the spirit
blah
of
blah
Davos
blah.
is into the negative. So overcome climate change. But the spirit of Davos is into the negative.
I don't know. That might just be an extra feature that's.
The reshaping of supply chain.
It could be good.
Systemic transformation. Our generation has reached a turning point. Quantum computing, climate
Quantum
change,
computing.
extinction. I penetrate Prime Minister Trudeau.
Never apologize for an LGDP, LGT, LBT, LGDP, LG. LGDP, LGT, LBT.
Stupid son of a bitch.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I think I've probably got enough sounds actually right here. Okay, so I need the duh. It's like a staple of my work, is it not? A duh! And maybe a couple arfs. Some does and some arfs. I don't even know if I'll exactly use the seal sounds, but Greta's lines can just snap out a
most critical fragmentation.
The popular idea
What
of
a stupid
50%
son of
is
a
simply
bitch.
not acceptable. Blah, blah, blah.
Give him
Blah,
a
blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah.
I penetrate.
Blah, blah, blah.
Overcome
Blah,
climate.
blah.
But the spirit of Davos overcome
Blah,
climate
blah.
change. But the spirit of Davos is into the negative, the most critical. Climate
Blah,
change. But the
blah.
spirit of Davos is into the negative, the most critical fragmentation. Extinction.
Blah,
Climate
blah,
change. But the
blah.
spirit of Davos is into the negative. Penetrate deep half of this cabinet. We need to overcome
Blah,
climate
blah,
change. But the
blah.
spirit of Davos is into the negative. Overcome
Blah,
climate
blah,
change. But the
blah.
spirit overcome climate change.
Blah,
But the spirit
blah,
of
blah.
Davos is into the negative, the most critical fragmentation. Extinction.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
Fragmentation. Extinction.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
We do know we have.
all right, bro. Yeah, I'll
We do know we have to. We do know we have.
We do know we have to. We do know we have.
I'll catch you. Actually, I might be on tomorrow, but if probably not, because I've got Toastmasters. So if I'm not done this tomorrow, I'll finish it Friday and do other things on Friday and Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, bro. I got other tasks. I want it done now. I want it done tonight. We'll see. But yeah, homie, have a good sleep. Thanks for coming by as always, and I'll see you next time.